Hello there, I'm Scotty, you're not. Continuing through the, what? Um, through the Twilight Zone reviews that I have on this list. And we have the Purple Testament, which was the last one on my list, but because I want to keep the disc in, we're doing it now. I really liked this episode. It's weird. It's a war episode. It's the first war episode on the show, I believe. I'm not a big war guy. I have some war films, but then, I'm not big on war movies. But this was a pretty good episode. So, Lieutenant William Fitzgerald finds out he has the ability to predict when some people are going to die. When he comes back from a mission that 4 people died on. He talks about this with his friend, Captain Phil. I forgot his last name, but the Captain Phil. Captain Phil. And he explains that he somehow knew, he could see it in his face as he knew those 4 were going to die. He wrote those names down on a piece of paper before they went out the morning prior, and saw that they were going, to die. He wrote their names down on a piece of paper, and those were the exact 4 that died. Of course, Phil is skeptical of this, but, they're drinking in a tent. And that happens again when he goes to visit his friend in the hospital, his friend Smitty. He's visiting with him, and then he notices this light on his face. And a minute later, he dies. They do a weird thing here where Fitzgerald kind of passes out. He wakes up, his friend is dead. Again, Phil is there. He tries to tell him what's going on, and he doesn't believe him. And this, leads to him being very hysterical. I just want to point out that the actor who played William Fitzgerald, also named William, I thought he did a pretty good job. As well as the guy who played Captain Phil, Dick York, the first Darren from Bewitched. I thought he was the best thing in this episode. I thought he was really good. And just the way his character is portrayed and the way he plays it, where he's really just trying to help his friend, trying to make some sense of everything, that whole thing, it works. And, they get back to the thing, and they get back to the base. And they're in the Philippines, by the way, in 1945, I think it is. And they get back to the base, and this is when it all kind of, goes down. Because, he's seen the 4, he's seen his friend Smitty die, but, the Smitty one is a weird one, because it's like, he was safe in a hospital bed, and I guess maybe he had some damage or something, I don't know, but, he tries to explain, but no one really believes him, except for later. And when he's with Phil in his tent, he notices Phil's face and believes Phil is going to die. He tries to warn him. He said, "You can't go out there. You can't go out. They're about to go on this mission. You can't go out there. You can do it." And Phil is adamant. He's, "We have to go out there. We have to do this. We can talk about it when we come back. And we have to this is an illusion. It's in your head. You have to let it go. We'll talk about this when we get back. We'll have a drink. We'll celebrate, this mission and everything." And then everybody starts freaking out. They're like, because of the rumors that are going around about him knowing this. And they're like, "So which one of us is going to die? How do you, And so he denies having this power to put everyone at ease. But, yeah. They go out into the battle. We don't really see much of it. There's a thing on a beach where people are like, whatever. But everyone comes back, and of course you notice that Captain Phil is not there. And there's something very subtle here. When Fitzgerald just walks into the tent, and he goes over, and he looks down, and there is Phil's wedding ring on top of pictures of his family. And there's something I thought of in this moment. He believed him. He knew he was going to die. He believed what his friends said. He knew he was going to die, and he went on a mission anyway. And that is the marquee of a real soldier. That there is the testament, the purple testament, so to speak. That is the idea of a soldier, is that it doesn't matter. You put your life on the line for something. He knew he was going to die, and he went out there anyway. He could have, walked away from the situation, stayed behind, and let everyone else go there. But he didn't. He still went. And he didn't let it be to his detriment. He didn't let it seem like it bugged him. He didn't let up like anything. He acted like a total badass up until that moment. They went on a mission, everything. He knew he was going to die, and he just went. Because he figured, hell, I can die, but at least we can maybe the mission will be a success if I can, die trying to save people or whatever their mission was. And they completed their mission. Phil was the only one that died. But we're not at the twist quite yet, because that's not the twist. So, and I did figure out the twist, because I'm like, is this it? And then they said this. So, Fitzgerald gets told that he's got to go back to the base for 2 weeks. And that he'll be taken back first thing in the morning. And I went, oh, I know what they're doing. So, the next morning, he's packing his stuff, and he happens to look in his little mirror that they have there during the war, I guess. And he sees his own face, and it lights up, indicating he's not going to make it back to the base. And, the driver comes up and grabs his stuff, and he leaves his canteen behind because he now knows. He gets in the Jeep, and he sits next to the guy, and they're here to talk. Hey, you gotta be careful. We hear that there's mines out there. Just be careful. He's like, don't worry about me. I can drive, and they're just fine. And he looks at the driver, and the driver's face also lights up. He goes, hey, you better hang on. We got a 4-hour drive. We got a 4-hour drive back there. And he looks at him, and his face goes, and he goes, oh, no, I don't think we do. And they drive off. Now, I know some people might feel that they don't, this guy has the ability to predict when people are going to die, and he doesn't do anything about it. And I'm not exactly sure he can do anything about it, because look at the case of Smitty. His face glowed. The way he explained it was, I saw on his face he was going to die, and the next minute he was dead. So I don't know. I mean, with Smitty, I don't think he could have done anything anyway. I think there was too much damage to his body. He was going to die from his wounds anyway. But as the captain and the 4 soldiers, maybe. But again, in the case of the captain, he chose to go out there. He knew he wasn't going to make it. He chose. So it's all about that, But again, I think the captain would be the only one that would work with, because tell anyone else there and they'll probably try to run away. So it would have worked. But, I don't know. And he could have said, hey, I'm not going back. We're going to stay here. That whole thing. But he didn't. Again, he accepted his death, I guess you can say. Little, Or he could have saved the driver and be like, you know what? I'll drive back. I can drive back just fine. I'll be fine. And we get the final scene where everyone is sitting there. One of the guys is playing a harmonica one-handed, which he points out, hey, you're pretty good at that. One hand! Whatever. And then we hear an explosion in the distance, which they like, is that thunder? That sounds like an explosion. And the guy goes, yeah, that was thunder. It was just thunder. Real Jimmy Stewart there. Yeah, it was just thunder. That's what it was. And then that's it. End of the episode. They don't even confirm that he died, but I kind of like that. Of course, we know he did. Both of them did, but leave it kind of open-ended. I actually really liked this episode. I thought it was better than the last one. Sorry, fans of The Hitchhiker. I liked it better than The Hitchhiker. I thought it was good. I think it worked. What they were trying to do. There's a shot here because after he sees his own face in the mirror glow, he throws the mirror down, and then later we get a shot. It looks too composited. Because all three pieces of the mirror have his face in it, and that's not how mirrors work. They would see different parts of his face. It's not his whole face in each part. That's not how it works. But, I thought this episode was pretty good. It was weird because I started watching this, I got distracted, and so I kind of rewound it back, and it was on the next episode for some reason. The last flight. I was like, what is this? And this is not it. But, yeah. I'm not doing that one. But, so what are your thoughts on this episode? Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. I got one more episode to do on here, but I want to fix up, or I want to watch more Two Guys and a Girl. Kind of. I should watch this last episode, because it's on the disc. And I'm going to take the disc out and put this in, so I should. But I'll see you in the next one.